I want to talk about a subject that I love, and that's starting a business. You want to start a business, but you don't have an idea. I think a lot of people are in this position. I know I've been in this position many times, and I think it's kind of a societal question as well. I think it's has a reflection on, I think it stems from something more societal, honestly. But I have been in this situation a lot. And I've seen a lot of people in this situation. I see it on Reddit a lot. I want to start a business. I don't have a good idea. I want to start a business. I don't have a good idea. So let me talk about some solutions and where I think the world is going and why I think my solution is not a bad idea for those of you who are on the fence. So look, I think a lot of good business ideas come from people who are involved somewhere, right? Like, who can take the next step. If you're not if you're not in AI right now, coding every day in AI, it's unlikely you're going to have an idea that no one else has had. And you're not even going to know that if it's unique or not because you're not in the space, right? But there are some really easy ways to start some businesses that I think is easy and capital light and can really get you going and starting to do what you want to do and what you want to get good at, which is being a business owner. So ultimately, that's where we want to get, is to be being a business owner. That's what we want to start practicing and getting better at. So let's talk about the world. So before you dismiss everything I'm saying, just hear me out. Let's talk about the world today really quick, and let's take that as a pathway. So today in the world, AI is taking over, right? Technology is transforming at a crazy pace. So I don't know that I would even want to be there if I could. But I don't know enough about those things to even do it. So I keep myself out of it, as probably most of you as well. So what's interesting, though, is that a lot of people who are graduating from these high-level colleges are buying businesses. And they're buying local service businesses. Now, let's walk down this path a little bit. If AI is taking all of this stuff on the internet, what continues to thrive? Service businesses. If you need to fix your dishwasher or you need to get a roof, AI isn't going to do that. And when people are looking for these services locally, AI can't take that really because they have to find somebody who can come to their house. So I think for the next few decades, these home service businesses are going to be more popular and they're not going to be affected or deeply disrupted by AI. So that gives us kind of a general idea of where we can start a business fairly quickly and have a positive outcome. Now let's talk about what I would do. How do you get down this path? So one of my favorite stories is the teacher that asked the class, hey, you have a hot dog stand and you want to make it successful. Would you rather compete on location or on price? And some people say location, some people say price, and it goes back and forth until he says, you're all wrong. What you want to compete on is the market. You want to have a rabid market that needs your hot dogs, right? So if you're outside if you can be outside of like a football stadium right when it's ending or something, right? Like that's what you want. You want customers who need your service. I botched that a little bit, but whatever. I think you get the idea, right? So you want customers who need your service. So what do you do here? And that's where I feel like it's not really going to be about the service, plumbing, roofing, whatever. Some of these are going to be harder. Some of these are going to be lighter competition. But I think around you, most likely, there's some service that you can offer in an area around you that you can do really well in. So first of all is, like, I live in Boise, right? And Boise is a fairly large area as far as the geography of it. But if I went and tried to start a plumber in Boise, it's super competitive. But if I go 20 miles outside of Boise to these cities like Middleton or Nampa, there's not going to be as much competition. And I see everybody trying to go into the downtown area where where they think, oh, well, that's where all the people are. Sure, but that's where all the competition is. If you go to the lower competition areas and you dominate there, you could grow a business in 12 months, maybe even less. You could be dominating in the area. Then you can expand into the big city once you have capital, cash flow, and some brand recognition. So I think for the most part, it's about choosing the right area to go get a business started. So once you find this area, how do you do this with like basically no money, right? With very little capital? Well, you need two things. First, you need a Google Business Profile location. I can almost guarantee you that if you go to this area and you go start looking around at commercial property, you start asking people if you could put a Google business pin in their location for your startup, you're just trying to start a business, you're trying to get good at it, whatever, you're going to find somebody who's going to be inspired by your story and they're going to say, yeah, sure, I don't care. Hey, you want to put a plumbing company in an office, on my building so people can type in plumber, then you show up? Cool. Great. So that's big problem number one, right? Is that you need to solve having a location. You go solve it, right? Then number two is you need somebody to do the jobs when they come in, right? So you go find a contractor. I've seen so many people do this. We've done this with some of the businesses I've helped start. There's so many contractors out there that are like, yeah, I want the work. Sure. Yeah. If you can get me a job, I'll go over there and say I'm whatever your business name is. I got no problems with that. And so you'll literally have contractors who are willing to go do the work for you at first while you get this started. Slap on maybe an insurance policy and some paperwork and you're good. Now you have a company that you can start advertising and getting leads, getting customers, and learning how to run a business. And I would say you probably don't want to learn how to do plumbing. That's probably a bad thing. The most successful business owners I've seen in the local space don't know how to do the thing that they sell. They don't want to. That's a crutch. You don't want to go solve the problem when your plumber can't make it to a job. You need to figure out how to run that like a business, right? What would a business do? So it's about figuring out how to run a business and be a business owner, and then you'll just start to stair step, and all of a sudden you've got a real business. Now you can hire some people, right? So it's such an easy way to just get started. And then what can you do? If I'm trying to fill in the middle, how do I get some jobs? Yeah, you go hand out freaking door hangers all day. You're going to get jobs off of those. So you want to put yourself in a position where kind of like you've started and you can't change course easily, right? So get over that hump, right? Once you have a logo and you got yourself a sweatshirt with your logo on it and you have a Google business location and you have a contractor and you've put out 1,000 door hangers, you're not going back. So just go, right? And I would say that just getting that done is going to put you on a path to success. You just say, I'm sticking with this. I'm going to figure it out. So that is, I think, not only an amazing path to success that you could start today, but it might actually be one of the best paths that exists today to go be successful, right? There's so many more millionaires in your backyard from these service businesses than there are tech millionaires. So there's way more money in there's so much money out there in these kind of services. Now, I love helping people like this. You don't need to use me. I don't care. But if you wanted somebody to partner with or to talk to about this, I will help you. I will help you probably get you a website. I will help you. I'll probably do it all for free. I don't care if I feel like we're a good fit. So I love helping people start up. It's my favorite thing to do. So if you want to talk about this, or you're interested in this, or you're thinking about something, or you don't know what to do, you just want to talk about business, feel free to email me, call me, whatever. I'd love to talk more about this. Otherwise, go just find something and go get started. That's how you become a business owner, and you can start practicing being a business owner. Don't practice being somebody that sits around thinking about ideas. It doesn't work. You have to start getting good at the thing that makes you money, which is being a business owner. So go do that. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.